Morning all, wherever you happen to be in the world and whatever you happen to be doing. I hope it's a safe one and you're finding the happiness in your day that you need, because we all deserve it. So today I want to continue a little about our journaling experiences. Today it's about journaling yourself or journaling for self. Now recently I went to a funeral of a very dear family friend, like my second mum I suppose you could say. Her name was Janet. And I really do enjoy hearing about the life experiences of those people who have sadly passed, but they have lived such a full and rich life. And she and her whole family played a really big role in my own growing up. And it was really wonderful to hear some of her life experiences that I had no idea about. Her son, Matt, hope you don't mind Matt, her son was able to do a lot of journaling for her in her last year, and so that was captured in what was put forward to the funeral and all of those in attendance. It was a beautiful service, and I learned a lot about Janet. Well, you know what? Today I'm visiting my mum, and my mum's never ever followed my example of writing in a journal. She keeps talking about it, but she doesn't do it. So there'll be some opportunities coming up, and today certainly, where I can help to record mum's life experiences. Now, what I do know about the oldies, and of course I've been visiting elderly people, family history related, great aunts, third cousins. The older ones are the ones that remember the most about the family tree. They don't remember too much about yesterday or what you told them on the phone last night, but they do remember a lot about the past. And it's great to capture what is still fresh memory for them while they still have it. So it's for the oldies, it's really good to just be taking notes, to take a recording. I used to walk around with one of those little cassette tapes, and I'd ask them, and it'd have about an hour cassette tape value. And while they were very, very quickly spilling out all the information of what they knew of the family, I could capture it. It was just too fast to be writing it down. And I recommend the same when journaling for older people. So, when I had many times the opportunity to write down details, it captured part of my past. It captured the enjoyment and the excitement of, the elderly and what they lived and experienced. Their lives are still so much value in it, and just as valuable as our lives are. So sometimes journaling can actually be for other people because they are unable to do that for themselves. And sometimes it's so that we can share for other people, and other people can gain value, like our children or our progenitors. Last time I spoke with you about Anne Frank's journal. Now, she was a child, and as she wrote in her journal, there was huge value for other people in the generations to come. Perhaps she didn't have any idea who would actually get to read her journal. Maybe she thought it was just going to be her dad or family or close relatives, but it's become a published work. I don't suggest that that's where we're going with writing journals, but there definitely is value and wisdom in what we have experienced in life and the lessons that we've learned. That's why we're here. We're here to experience this world in which we live and have relationships with people and have experiences that we can talk about, and we can learn values like patience or resilience or respect. And we each have stories to tell about those things. And I do as well. Future episodes will be coming. When I've got some things to show you today, so just be mindful that we're going to do some show and tell in a little bit. So when I do my journal, I have a lot of things in mind. Some of it's just for me. It's completely just for me. I want to record, I want to remember, I want to gain value from my own experiences, my own lessons, I want to process. Some of it's because I know I'll forget one day, and I kind of want to know what happened with my kids as they were growing up. Which Christmas was it that we went on that holiday, perhaps? And I can always go back. It's quite a known thing in amongst the family that I go, I'll just look in my journal. If I can't remember something, I'll just look in my journal. Very easy these days when we have a digital version of a journal. You can just do a filter search. So, Expo or Reiki or course or Sydney, or just a keyword that you can do a search for, and then you can very easily find the article that you were looking for, or the day or the date, and it helps to answer some questions. So I wanted to show you a little bit about how you can record different types of physical journals that you can have. I have previously spoken of just getting some loose leaf sheets, ring binder ones that you can then just throw out if they really have content that you just don't want anybody to ever see, or you're over it. You've done your lesson learning in that writing experience, and it's now of no value. You'll never look at it again. You can destroy it. Of course, it's yours. It's up to you. What I have an iPad, or I have my devices that I take with me. So of course I can just type wherever I happen to be. If I've got 5 extra minutes where I'm taking my daughter to work and I'm in the car and I go, oh my gosh, I haven't written the last 3 days in my journal, I'll get it out and I'll just type then, or might be at lunch. And so I do that. Here's a journal that I've got. Ta-da! It actually says journal, but I'm not sure if it says it the right way around for you. But that does say journal. It's a hardcover. I've had it for years. I've got all sorts of, can you see that? I've got post-it notes inside. I've got, extra sheets. I've sort of divided up into sections. This one took on... started in October 2015, and I've written a lot of ideas down. It then became my my journal for writing about oracle cards, my crystal healing cards, and so I've documented what's going on in my life at the moment, what I needed some help with. And then I did the card pulling, and I wrote the details down and what was coming to mind. What was my gut feeling? What was the experience that my soul was tapping into in that moment? So when I was like reading what was on the card, or reading from the little books that come with them often, and then I was going, oh, that's the part that's relevant for me. That's what my soul is talking to me about. And so I would write them down in the moment where the feeling is actually really strong, because that's where the lesson is. That's where the lesson is for the soul in that moment. And I've got those recorded. It doesn't take much. This is just as one whole experience here. And then I've done actually a page per event, let me call it an event, but I didn't do it every day. I didn't even do it every week. I've got some really detailed, can you even see that? You can see a lot more wording on there. And you know what? I haven't even done a whole lot, but I did dedicate this particular journal to that type of work. So I themed this one, and I can go back into here, and as I often have, and I'm going, oh, that's right. That's what was going on in my life at that time. Oh my gosh, that was a really tough time. And that's where my learning was. That's where I could see myself elevating to such a more beautiful space. And I can give credit to those moments where I intelligently and with forethought, I wrote details down. Here's another type of, and I'm not doing any advertising here. This has got Mind Your Mind on the outside, if you can see that. It's a bit glary on some angles. Just from a typo, I think. My daughter got it for me. It has a lot of different, it's really hard with the reflection on there, but it has a lot of different little bits that you can just write in. This is like a take with you type journal, and you can, mindfully do some colouring, and there's all types of these sorts of journals out there, keeping you week by week. There's a lot of those, some mandala drawings, so you can focus in and really become mindful and centered when maybe you're a little bit stressed at work. So that's another type. This one is probably my favorite at the moment. Another one that my daughter bought for me. It's called Thoughts, Dreams and Reflections. And each page has a title of something to fill in. I really like this idea. Now, although it's got like day numbers and it's 365 days, and I've probably had it for 12 months, and I've probably written in 20 days, the idea for me is that I've got a title at the top, a tag, something for me to ponder and then see what comes up. And then while it's coming up, I can actually write in here, what is in your fridge right now? So I fill that one out. Breaking news, what's in the headlines? Write down your advice to your younger self. So some of these are really great and inspiring concepts that I would never have thought of if I was just sitting down with a journal, with typing, and I just wouldn't have done that. It can capture some beautiful things like rank today from 1 to 10. What is the weather like today? Well, you know what? Today it was a little bit rainy, but it's fresh and beautiful and bright, and it's clear, and it just smells great. My garden looks great. My grass is going to grow beautifully because we've had a bit of rain overnight. So those sorts of things really show my personality by writing just a little bit down. Future generations my children perhaps, would maybe one day read these and think, gee, Mum's a really great person and I really miss her. And likewise, that's what I was able to do by listening to Matt's collection from his mum's life. I was able to really feel connected to another soul in a way that I hadn't done before. And we're all in this world, not to just be a blip and to be gone, but we are connected. We're all one. And so journaling is one of those ways of sharing who we are now with ourselves, sharing who we are now with others at some point, and perhaps even gaining from others' journals and their valuable moments, insights and wisdoms. In fact, now I remember that 35 years ago, it was Janet who gave me some very, very wise advice. It was something that she said, we're at Mum's place. It was something that she said, but I wrote it down and I have never forgotten. She said, when you find somebody that you fall in love with, make sure that you can live with all the bad stuff too. Because we often overlook that is something that's going to be part of our day-to-day life as well. So her piece of wisdom has never left me. And she was a beautiful, beautiful soul, a dear family friend, and never to be forgotten. Her life has been written in journal form. It's written on our hearts. And, I think that's what we too would like for our lives to be meaningful, that others will remember us in a very kindly light as well. So for now, I'd love you to take some experiences and run with them for journaling, for yourself, for others. Even reach out to your family members that you haven't thought of doing this for in the past, and capture the lives that we are living in some way so that they can add value to the generations to come and to our lives even today. Being mindful today means my day is even brighter than it was otherwise. So enjoy the rest of your day today. Enjoy tomorrow, next month, next year. Enjoy it all. Rise up and live your spirited life. And if you'd love to touch base with me, I'm Leanne James, Lotus Energies. Always have a time for a chat, video call, reach out, put a message in. Just love connecting with people and being one and sharing. So have a great day. Talk soon. Bye.